We're in this wild new age of AI, right? Where a single prompt can create something absolutely incredible. But that leads to a huge question that looms over every single creation. Who actually owns it? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dive deep into the fascinating and pretty complex new world of digital ownership.
So imagine this. You've done it. You've tinkered with an AI, you've crafted the perfect prompt, and out comes something brilliant. A logo, an article, a piece of code. It feels like it's yours, right? I mean, you're the one who came up with the idea. But here's the billion-dollar legal question. Do you really own it?
The answer is way more surprising than most people think. So today, we're going to cut through all the noise, all the confusion. We are going to walk through 4 essential legal truths that every creator, every entrepreneur, every developer out there needs to understand to protect their work and, frankly, their business.
And the first truth, well, it's a big one. I call it the public domain problem. And you might want to brace yourself for this, because that awesome logo or image you just generated, it might actually belong to, well, everyone.
This slide really gets to the heart of the issue. You see, US copyright law is built on a very old idea, human authorship. So look over here on the left. If you use AI as a tool and then you apply a ton of your own human creativity, you're editing, you're rewriting, arranging things, you might, just might, have a shot at getting a copyright. But then you look at the right. If you just type in a simple prompt and use whatever the AI spits out with no changes, that work is almost certainly considered to have no human author, and that means it falls straight into the public domain.
So here's the bottom line. Just writing a prompt, no matter how clever it is generally not seen as enough significant creative input to make you an author in the eyes of the law. And this means anyone, and I mean anyone, including your direct competitors, could potentially use that raw AI-generated image you love so much without your permission. Yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow, I know.
Okay, so if you can't copyright that slick new AI logo, are you just out of luck? No, not at all. This brings us to our second truth. You just need a different tool for the job. And in this case, that tool is your new best friend, the trademark.
This table breaks down the difference perfectly. See, copyright is there to protect the artistic work itself from being copied. But a trademark? It does something totally different. It protects your brand identity out there in the marketplace. Its whole purpose is to stop customers from getting confused. So, while the art of your AI logo might be free for anyone to use, you can absolutely trademark it to get the exclusive right to use it for your business. For any AI-generated branding, this isn't just a good idea, it's absolutely essential. But hang on, a quick word of warning here. These AI tools, they're not lawyers. They don't check for trademark infringement. They could easily spit out a logo that looks way too similar to a brand that's already out there. So before you go and build your entire company around that cool new AI logo, you absolutely must do a thorough trademark search first. Okay, this brings us to our third big truth, which I like to call the human in the loop rule. We've already seen that humans are key for copyright. Now we're going to see why they are completely non-negotiable for 2 other huge pillars of intellectual property, patents and contracts. Here's the deal with patents. Just like copyright needs a human author, US patent law requires a human inventor. And the courts have been super clear about this. You cannot list an AI system as the inventor on a patent application. But, and this is the important part, that doesn't mean you can't patent AI-related stuff. If you, a human, think up a brand new, innovative AI algorithm or process, you can absolutely patent it. The credit just has to go to the person, not the machine.
So patents need a human inventor. Got it. But this human in the loop rule doesn't stop there. What about the other humans you work with to actually build your AI? This leads us to one of the most common and frankly financially devastating mistakes I see entrepreneurs make all the time.
Please pay close attention to this one. Let's say you hire a freelance developer to code your amazing new AI app. They do incredible work, it's brilliant. But if your contract with them doesn't have a very specific clause, it's called an IP assignment clause. Guess what? By default, the law says they, the contractor, own the copyright to all that code they wrote for you. Without that little clause in writing, you've basically paid for something you don't even own. All right, this brings us to our fourth and final truth, and this one's a little more strategic. We've talked about all these public ways to protect yourself, like trademarks and patents. But you know what? Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is to keep your best ideas a complete secret. And this is where the idea of a trade secret comes in. The classic example is the recipe for Coca-Cola. It's not patented, it's protected simply by being a secret. For an AI company, your secret sauce could be your unique algorithm, a special data set you use for training, or your proprietary source code. As long as you actively try to keep it confidential, we're talking NDAs, strong digital security, it's protected. So this is the big strategic choice you have to make. A patent gives you this incredibly powerful government-enforced protection, but you have to publicly disclose exactly how your invention works for everyone to see. A trade secret, on the other hand, can last forever, but only as long as you can keep the cat in the bag. In the super fast-moving world of AI, keeping your core algorithm as a trade secret is often the smarter, more agile strategy.
So, wow, we've covered a lot of ground, haven't we? From the whole public domain problem to the power of trademarks, patents, and trade secrets, and of course, how crucial contracts are. So, how does this all fit together? Let's pull it all into a simple, actionable AI IP playbook.
Now, here's the most important takeaway of the day. You don't just pick one of these. The smartest creators use a layered strategy. So, you copyright the content and code that you, as a human, actually put significant creative work into. You trademark your brand name and your logo to protect your identity in the market. You use ironclad contracts to make sure you own the work you pay other people for. And finally, you might just protect your crown jewel, that groundbreaking algorithm, as a closely guarded trade secret. Altogether, these layers create a really powerful defense.
And that brings us to the end. But really, this conversation is just getting started. All of these rules we talked about are based on laws that were written long, long before AI was something that could feel like a creative partner. So the real question for the future is this. As AI's role keeps evolving, how will our very definitions of what it means to be an author or an inventor have to change too? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.